Ajay, your distribution network has been quite phenomenal since you've taken over. Even your geographical footprint. हमारे साथ share कर लीजिए the strategies you've implemented.
So our view is that we want to build a retail business.
Okay.
So if you want to build a retail business, we want to provide customers the ability to interact with us when and where they want. And therefore you've got to provide multiple touch points to every customer. So some customer may want to come through a bank, somebody may want to come through a trusted advisor, somebody may want to come through a broker, somebody may want to come online. And therefore our approach is really to make sure we provide the entire breadth of opportunities for a customer to interact with us, both for a sale as well as from a service perspective.
Okay.
And that's something that we built over this period of time, because clearly if you have scale ambitions like we do, if you have leadership ambitions like we do, you've got to have the distribution presence to match that.
Okay, as a layman, who is the customer that comes to you?
So we have very broadly three types of customers.
Okay.
So we have what we call the mass affluent customer, who's pretty much middle class India. Then we have the high net worth individual, because they tend to be the people with the money, and a lot of them are looking for products that we offer, whether it's private equity, real estate, equities, stuff like that. And then we have the corporate customer. Now there again, you could have large corporates, small corporates, but the corporate customers obviously have a different decision making process, a different dynamic to the other two categories that we discussed.
Right, that's true. Your geographical footprint is also quite robust. In 500 cities, how are you expanding? How have you reached that level and point to date?
So we've reached that actually by doing a lot of analysis in terms of where money lies today. So we get a lot of data in terms of where
B-tier cities,
where the money is lying.
Okay.
We also do analysis in terms of where growth is likely to come over the next 5 years. So we have a lot of data that goes at a granular level to see at city level where growth is coming.
And cellular level, wow.
And yeah, exactly. And then you use that basis then to try and figure out where you
okay, so what is your take on that? What's the research shown so far?
So the research is showing actually some of the larger cities that we think intuitively are places that will be large and growing are actually slowing much faster than we think.
Okay.
We also look at a market like Mumbai, for instance, and you look at Mumbai as a whole, there are several micro markets within Mumbai, and the fastest growing parts of Mumbai, for instance, would be Thane, would be Goregaon. Those are places really, therefore we see more money and more opportunity to grow than the traditional marine lines and so
which
on.
you would just presume.
Exactly.
And what about the B and C tier cities? Do you see a lot of growth there, a lot of potential?
I think the future of India really is in many of these smaller cities. I think we're seeing so much more action, so much entrepreneurism, and with the e-commerce boom, I think these people are able to do things that they couldn't do before.
The cool startups, it's just rocking. Which are some of the unusual cities where you see a lot of growth potential, in your opinion?
There are no unusual cities. I think there are a number of cities we see. I mean, we have, for instance, we have a business in Gujarat.
Okay.
And we work in some of the smaller cities in Gujarat. A place like Vapi, for instance. Okay. And Vapi today has become one of our fastest growing businesses for equity funds.
Okay.
It's so you
would have never thought.
You would never have thought a small city like that.
Not even heard of it, but
Vapi, Valsad, these are all wonderful places for equity funds, and the equity culture is very much alive and kicking.
What do you attribute to like so much growth there?
I think there's money, there's an ability of risk taking, and I think when you get the combination,
risk taking is interesting.
Exactly,
okay,
and I think risk taking varies by culture in India, and therefore varies by geography. And therefore there are some places that are more open to it than others.
Now that's a very interesting take, Ajay. You're saying risk taking also varies in terms of culture and
it does very clearly. When you look at the Chinese, I think they are naturally risk takers.
They are. Yes,
I spent some time in Hong Kong. I could see the kind of attitude they have to money is so different to the attitude that I come from a conservative South Indian background that we would have, for instance, to money.
Interesting. Okay, 2 more questions. I think we'll have enough time. In a nutshell, your take on the economic growth of India to the future.
So I think India is absolutely in a phenomenally wonderful place today. When I look around the world, I think India is an oasis of growth in a desert, really struggling to find growth. We have a fantastically young population. We are structurally a domestic economy, and therefore don't have to look outside for growth factors. We have a situation where interest rates are coming down, and we're a country that needs to spend on infrastructure, all of which makes for a wonderful opportunity. And this is combined in a world where there's so much liquidity and a dearth of investment options. So I think India is really wonderfully positioned, and I think we will be the country of the future, I think, for the next decade.
That was really positive. Okay, your take on being a leader today, present and future, and also I want you to tie it in with the Aditya Birla group is also involved with leadership programs, cutting edge, and there's the leap and bound. So share with us your take on that and the cutting edge program.
So the group is very focused on leadership development. I think the group realizes that the biggest job for the group today is really creating leaders of the future, because I think that's really what will build and sustain this group. And when we looked around the group, we didn't find that many people with P&L leadership skills who are ready. So the Cutting Edge program was created to identify people who had the potential to become P&L leaders, and then to give them the inputs and in a structured way to get them ready for bigger roles.
Okay, and how did you identify that? What were the
so
pointers?
Each business had picked candidates, and they were picked broadly based on performance and what they thought the potential of these individuals were.
Okay.
So we sent somebody, for instance, from our side, somebody who we thought was very talented, and he's just moved in as the CEO of our health insurance business. So I think it allows us, therefore, to identify people, prepare them, and ultimately give them opportunities that they can then take forward.
Okay, what does leadership mean to you as someone in that position?
So leadership to me means a great opportunity and a responsibility. I think it's an opportunity to really make a difference to people, whether it's employees, whether it's customers, or other people you may interact with. I think it's a really wonderful opportunity to make a difference. But because you have that opportunity, I think it comes with a lot of responsibility. And I think you get to realize very soon.
You'd say that, yeah.
You get to realize very soon that there is a large amount of responsibility you carry on your shoulder, including the brand. I mean, we have a brand that is absolutely spectacular. It's built over so many years.
Blue chip.
And our business is a business of trust. So every day we're building trust and looking to build trust.
High on the ethics space.
And that responsibility, yes, I share with all the leaders of the group.
Beautiful, beautiful, Ajay. Ajay, special thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for welcoming us to Mumbai. It's been a pleasure.
Wonderful to
I have loved catching up and hearing your gyan as a real superstar professional. We wish you all the best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I end this episode of The Big Idea on a contemplative, reflective note. To reach our goals, we have to continually stretch ourselves and train our minds to look outside the box. We must train our minds to see the opportunities that are always waiting for us. For whatever we think about and thank about, we bring about. God bless. Niva Jain.